welcome to Embody Harmonics Yoga. My name is Samuel, and we are nearing the end of our playlist of suggestions to help you get your home yoga practice off the ground and going. In this video, I'd like to talk about making your practice an act of devotion. Because at some point, if you're at all like me, the honeymoon period with your practice will fade. And the inherent motivation may start to die down. And life may try to take over. We get busy. We've got obligations to family and friends and work. And sometimes we don't feel like rolling out the mat and doing the practice. Sometimes we feel like lying around and eating lots of food and playing video games. So what do we do when that happens? There's a few choices. We can try willpower, and that could work for a lot of people, I imagine. For me, willpower alone is not enough. There's too much like habits and patterns and defense mechanisms happening in the subconscious that get in there and make the willpower tactic not sustainable. And then when I don't practice, if I've been relying on willpower, now this leaves me with this story that I just don't have willpower or that I've failed. So use it if it works for you. For me, not the best answer. Motivation, I find, is a blessing. It is something that is inspirational, it comes up from within, and it makes the effort feel easy and not like work. But motivation is transitory, right? It's this energy that comes and goes. And so I have found that I need something beyond motivation. Yoga itself is a discipline, and some people do well by disciplining themselves to practice. For me, that feels a little harsh. It feels like if I don't do it, there's some kind of punishment on the other side. Or it feels like I'm creating a situation in which I have no choice, like I'm a victim of this circumstance and I have to go do my practice. And that saps the joy away from the yoga. And ideally, as we practice and we get into our bodies and we calm the mind, joy is one of the things that can spontaneously arise. So I find that discipline in this context inhibits my connection to joy. So that doesn't work for me either. So what I recommend is making your practice an act of devotion. And that can happen on any number of levels. I think the most practical is to go back to your original intention for wanting to start yoga. If your intention is to have a strong body and a flexible body, then when the motivation is not there to roll out the mat and do the work and practice, you can talk yourself into it. You can remind yourself that your goal is the strong body and the flexible body. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens by little taking a drop and placing it in a bucket over and over and over until one day that bucket is now full. And we've created a strong, flexible body. Or we've created a deeper connection to the divine. Or we've created a mind that can focus on a given task and can let go of distraction that does not serve us. But it takes lots and lots of little steps along the way to make it to that goal. So reconnecting to your original intention can help to keep you going when the blessing of motivation wears down. Sometimes the work that we do on the mat very clearly is benefiting the world around us. It's in small ways or in big ways. Maybe you've got a profession where you deal with people internationally that are making policy in government or something, or are running big corporations that make decisions that have effects on lots and lots of people, right? And so your ability to stay calm and think clearly and be comfortable in your body has a ripple effect that can have an effect on the lives of who knows how many people that you may never even meet. In a really personal, practical story, let me share a story with you if I may. Our dog is currently nearing his end of life. His legs are not working anymore. He can't walk. And so, but he's not ready to leave yet. He's still got some energy and some vigor in him. So in order for him to go to the bathroom, we've got to carry him up and down a number of flights of stairs to get him to the area where he can do his business. And I constantly remark to myself that I'm able to squat down, healthy knees, healthy hips, scoop him up. I know how to engage my core to protect my back and then stand up. And he's not a small dog. This is not like a little dog that could fit in a purse. He was, maybe 75 pounds when he was at his meatiest. So I can engage and stand up and carry him up and down stairs without falling, without hurting my back, without dropping him. And it's a very clear way that the strength and balance and benefit of my practice is being given to another being. And there's lots of ways that being strong and flexible in body and mind can benefit our family, our tribe, our workplace, all the people that we come into contact with. So finding something to devote your practice to can help keep you going. Let's talk about a few practical things that might also help. Consider choosing when you're going to practice and then putting it on your schedule. That works really well for me. If I don't, I can easily be very sluggish and just not really want to do much of anything and just lay around the house and do nothing. By putting it on my schedule, it's like it's a framework. It helps my mind to anticipate that time, and I've devoted that time to my practice. Something else that helps me is to just consider the next smallest step. Sometimes, my mind goes to I have to do all these salutations, and I've got to do all these poses if I'm going to make this practice worthwhile. And it can get overwhelming. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're just not even feeling it at all, one thing that can help is to just see what the next thing is. Maybe that's tidying the space. So then you do that, and then you take a breath and you evaluate. Is there energy to do more? Maybe the next step is rolling out the mat. And then you just stand there and you look at your mat and you take a breath. Well, okay, you're already here, so maybe the next step is sitting down, closing your eyes, and just taking a few deep breaths, right? And then maybe that's all you do, and that's fine. If that's what your yoga looks like for the day, at least you carved out a certain amount of time and energy and devoted something to your practice. More often than not, if you just keep following that trail of breadcrumbs of next smallest step, you'll find that you do a meditation or a few poses or whatever it is that your practice looks like. And then you've fulfilled, your practice for the day. When before you started, it was maybe overwhelming or just distasteful. So that's it. I hope that these ideas help you to stay engaged in your practice as you continue, and give you something to keep the fire burning when you reach that point where the inherent motivation maybe starts to wear a little thin. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I love hearing from you. And do like the channel and video. It helps a lot. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video, which is also our last one of the playlist. I'll see you there.